Hello, you're watching tulipswift. Welcome back. I hope you remember me. My name is Abby. Hi. I'm gonna do another video maybe when I tell you like basically what happened, but basically I just finished college, so that's the whole story. And I'm on booktube and I'm not on booktube. It is what it is. I saw this tag and I was like, I meant to do this last year and now I'm gonna do it. It's kind of funny because I feel like I'm reading a lot, but I only read about 30 or 40 books a year, and in high school I read about 80 books a year, so I'm not reading as much as I think I am. It's for fun, right? The first question is the best book you've read so far this year. Sorry about the blinds have this like one ray of light, but that should go away. So that's kind of hard. There isn't something that really stands out, but there were some like good contenders so far. I'm gonna go with By Your Side by Casey West. Like I always say, Casey is my hit or miss, but somehow every book is still exactly the same. It's either 5 stars or 3 stars, like there's no between. So By Your Side is about this girl who's like really studious. She really cares about what everyone thinks of her, me. So she gets stuck in the library for like Memorial Day weekend or whatever, and I accidentally read this during Memorial Day weekend, so like my mind, she's in a library for like 3 days or whatever, like no phone, like no computer, like nothing, but there's this kid from school who's stuck in the library with her, so it's this like really quirky meet cute. They remind me of like maybe Caleb and Hannah from Pretty Little Liars or something, which is like the best couple from that show. It just worked really well, and I felt even a little bit moved, dare I say. It's not like a huge standout, like it couldn't compete against like books I read in previous years, but honestly just did its job. And yeah, so I binged a ton of Casey West books at the beginning of 2021 because all the audiobooks are available for my library, which is great, but like the selection of audiobooks is very small for young adults. So the fact that they have every single Casey West title is like, okay, I guess that's a priority. Second question, best sequel you've read so far this year. This one's gonna have to be Leon the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This came out a little bit ago. I read it for Pride and I really loved it. I would have read it when it came out because I was interested in it, but the reviews were so bad that I was like, I guess I'll skip this one. Also, between you and me, I really don't like Simon that much. Because of the writing and then the like outing him trope and stuff. I don't know. The movie is incredible. I think YA movies have been so bad, and like for some reason that movie was really good, so like bless. But Leah actually felt personal to me, and the audiobook is narrated by Sharon Purser from Riverdale and Stranger Things, some Netflix movie that nobody likes. It's been a really long time since I've read a YA book where there was like a female lead, but she was like super angsty, emo, angry, punk rock, like unapologetically just like mean. But anyway, she's bisexual. I loved it, and I pictured like the actors from the movie, except Simon, like I did not picture as Nick Robinson because like it did not compute. And then there's a character named Abby who's like quirky and wears like tights and bright colors and is super nice. And it's just like that's what I think I am as an Abby, and I want to be her. I just love those characters, and it just did such a good job. The narration was great. I just got goosebumps thinking about like the prom, like how they all go to prom. I just love that book. If any other Leah fans are down below, hit me up. But Leah was so good, and I was just like, why do I have such an unpopular opinion all the time? But welcome to my channel. I love everything you hate. Wait till you hear what I thought about Catcher in the Rye. I'm gonna cut that out because I can't handle the hate comments right now. New release you haven't read yet but you want to? Okay, easy peasy. I'm such a fake fan, but Better Together by Christine Riccio. I mean, Call Me a Basic Bitch. Sorry, saving that for the ASMR channel. I love me some Pullin' Bananas books, you know, like I really come to booktube just to feel the 2015. So I actually really loved Again But Better. I made a trailer for it. I directed and edited a book trailer for it. If you didn't know, Christine is a huge inspiration for me because like I went to college for film and I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. I was literally like, when I graduate college, I'm gonna be a full-time booktuber like Christine. And like here I am, like one video after a year of like nothing. Anyways, I have a sister and I love sister books. To All the Boys I Loved Before is the best, most beautiful sister representation I've ever seen. So long story short, I survived. I can't wait to read this. I feel like this is me because I'm the ooh-woo sister, and then my sister's the goth one, but she's like out of her goth phase, and I just kind of like, I took that place. So now I'm the ooh-woo and the goth, so I feel like I'm really like, you know, holding together this sisterhood. But yeah, so the question was anticipated but haven't read yet. Literally, this took forever to come in the mail for whatever reason, and I was like, oh my god, like I have to read it, it just came out, and then it comes in the mail finally, and I come back from vacation, and I just like, don't start it. So I need to start it. Wait, the emo one does ballet? Okay, now I'm like really confused, because the ooh-woo one is Hollywood, and I'm film. Oh, I guess I'll have to read it, because I don't know which one I am. If this isn't exactly a retelling of me and my older sister, I don't think I can handle it. Okay, number 4, anticipated release for the second half of the year. So my answer is Crescent City number 2. I don't know what the name is, if there's a name. I read Crescent City for absolutely no reason. I'm not caught up with Throne of Glass. Sarah J. Maas has, you know, supported some things that I don't really agree with, but there I was, I got it from the library, I had to check it out multiple times because I couldn't get past page like 200, and eventually I finished it. Now I just have to read the fan fiction every day because I'm just waiting for book 2. Number 5, biggest disappointment. I keep coming back to Colleen Hoover, who her whole style is just to shock you with trauma halfway through the book, but I didn't know that this was like a thriller or something. Wait, Layla by Colleen Hoover, but the Goodreads rating is 4.3 out of 5. Absolute disappointment. This is the first Colleen Hoover book I read that was like a thriller or whatever, and it was so bad and I hated it. Oh my god, there's an excerpt from this that I put on Twitter where the guy was like, by the way, it's from the point of view of the guy, which I always hate. He was like, oh, I just feel so connected to her, I'm just gonna like take off a piece of her hair and like eat it and swallow it. I'm so connected to her. Like, why do people unironically read Colleen Hoover? Like, whatever, I guess I'm just trashing myself because I literally went into this. I just hated this book so much. It's about this guy who falls head over heels in love with this girl, and then there's like a terrible accident, and then she's like never the same for the rest, and then it's like a mystery, like what happened. It was really bad. Number 6 is the biggest surprise, and I'm gonna have to go with The Chase by Elle Kennedy. So I don't know why I'm making very serious eye contact with you, but I absolutely forgot how to make a video. So and now I'm like self-conscious because I'm like, what if the guy who lives next to me can hear me talk, but like whatever. This was a surprise because I was on the like Barnes & Noble Nook store, because like I literally don't buy from Amazon. That's like my whole personality. And I just went to like free romance books or whatever, and I downloaded quite a few of them, and then I saw this one was like a best-selling author, so I was like, okay, like, but I like didn't know Elle Kennedy. I downloaded it because it was like a roommate trope. This college girl rooms in with her brother's friend, and they're all on this hockey team, and then there's like way more books that take place like within members of the hockey team and other people at Briar University. So it is part of like a larger universe, but I was like, this Jesus Christ. But I was like, the first book is free, so I'm just gonna read this one. I don't know if I'm gonna read the other ones. I just do not want to buy books right now. Anyways, it was a surprise because usually I just download like random crap that's free and it's like really bad or whatever. It's I kind of expect like Wattpad level because like a lot of it is self-published, but this was like a legit book that just happened to be free randomly, but it was so good. She really likes this guy that she's living with. They're living with multiple other people. It's like she's living with all these guys. It's basically New Girl. He goes by his last name, which is like Fitz, but like I don't know if I really like that, but whatever, he's Fitz. He's like a gamer, and he's like to himself, and he's like not like the other guys, and she's like a party girl and stuff, and she like really likes him, but she thinks that he doesn't like her and he avoids her. But really, he's kind of intimidated by her because she's like really popular and really pretty and kind of a party girl. And that's just exactly the relationship dynamic that I'm looking for. And it gave it to me in the roommate trope. And then there was also, they didn't want like the rest of the hockey team to find out because her brother's on the hockey team. And so they have to like keep it a secret. But there's like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be just like a random thing. Like, I'm probably not gonna finish it. But then I was like, this book is my whole life. So That's all I have to say about that. Number 7 is favorite new author. This is definitely new to me. I'm just gonna go with Elle Kennedy because I could just tell this wasn't like a one-time thing. Like, she knew what she was doing. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. I will have to go with Hunt from Crescent City. Which, by the way, why the hell is it called House of Earth and Blood? Nobody wants to call it that. Nobody has been calling it that. It is the most YA title and it is not creative and I don't like it. Crescent City like kind of works because I haven't seen Crescent, but like City is like still YA, but like Hunt from Crescent City, like he's not like one of my all-time favorite hunks, but like he's definitely very memorable. I absolutely love Crescent City for making it like kind of more modern than any other universe that Sarah J. Maas has ever created, because there's like cell phones, there's trains, there's like rock concerts and clubs and music, and it just works so much better because I personally am not really interested in all the magic stuff, but I mean obviously like that heightens all of the stakes, but this was like the absolute perfect in between. That's almost like an AU fanfic or whatever. I just loved it so much, and he's like an angel and he's like a guardian and he has to like guard over her, but he's like a slave to like this guy, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And also she's a party girl, so like that's like my favorite trope, I'm just realizing right now. Okay, sorry if it's getting like darker, but like that's just how the sun has been working recently. I'm gonna open this. Oh, that actually works well. Okay, number 9 is your new favorite character, and that would have to be Leah. Okay, number 10 is book that made you cry. Oh, I actually have this. One second. Okay, so a book that made me cry would be One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I wouldn't like call it a book that made me cry because like I didn't like cry, but like I cried a little bit. Like I almost cried. So out of all the books I've read, like I guess this one, Leah honestly made me cry a little bit at the end. But so here's my like abbreviated negative review of this book, which I gave I think like 4 stars or whatever because it was really good. But I couldn't quite remember why I didn't absolutely love Red, White, and Royal Blue. And then once I read this when it came out, I was like, oh yeah, like I think it's the writing. It's just not for me, and it's so much like tell, and like not enough showing. Like I'm just like, okay, like that's like 12 pages of like what that kiss felt like. Can we go back to the plot, like please? Here's where I'm gonna get even more mean and like divisive on my channel, but like I felt like there were so many like tangents where she was just describing life, when that smell of toilet bowl cleaner and the way that the trees bend this way and that, and then the way that it felt when you asked out your crush in 4th grade, and I was just like slam poetry who. It honestly, it got me like a few times, but I felt like that technique was overused because I really started to notice it. The other thing is that I've only been to New York one time. I just like, I don't know, I get it, like it's a New York book and people are really into New York. The New Yorkness kind of turned me away because I just felt either resentful because I don't feel that way about New York, or I felt like FOMO because I'm not in New York and I don't get it. So that was, I think, a me problem, but I think I also read too many New York books this year, so I was kind of just like so annoyed, and I'm like, am I supposed to just like drop everything and move there? Like, am I just missing out on the entire world right now? Like, I just was having a crisis that had nothing to do with Casey. Like, Casey did a good job. The strong suit of this book is having so many characters, but that just brought, I was like, okay, like now it's a sitcom. Like, it feels like a sitcom or something because there's so many characters, like, or a series. Like, it was such a great aspect that was so hard to put into a like standalone romance novel. I don't know, I guess you could say the found family is like the center of it and not the romance, because then you could probably argue that it makes more sense. Also, I feel like on other people's channels, they'll just pick up my favorite book and just start absolutely roasting it, and whenever I have like something negative to say, I just apologize so many times in advance, and I'm just like, well, I was probably wrong, and like blah blah blah. A book that made you happy. This is easy because I read my Cabot book. You know how I do. She's actually like my favorite author. It was The Boy Next Door. If you did not know, she wrote The Princess Diaries, which is, yes, a book series, and it's like 10 books long, and it is so good. This is so dated. I loved it. Honestly, it was like this was a historical book because it takes place in like 2002, and this girl works for like a newspaper or whatever, and oh yeah, this is the other New York book, and like she has like a small town family at home. It read like very Hallmark, but like so good. And it's, the whole thing is in emails, which I thought I would hate. Look, I'll show it to you. But of course, Miss Meg Cabot knows exactly how to keep me interested. The guy who moves in to the apartment next door is pretending to be his rich friend. So she thinks that he's this like rich douchebag, but he's really just like this like low-key, cool like friend. They like fall in love, but like she's talking to people at the office about it, but they think she's talking about somebody else. It was so good. There was some like really weird, like problematic language that like, let's just say like if I was the editor or if I was Meg Cabot, I would like republish this because of some of the things that are in here. But who knows, maybe it was changed because this is a really old copy. But the romance just made me so happy. He was like such a cool guy, and he like took care of her when she was sick. And then I love how like every Meg Cabot like protagonist is the same but somehow different. Like she's like so quirky, and she's just like, oh, I love like gossip, I love like Hollywood, and I want to, you know, talk about Brad Pitt all the time. And like, I don't know, it's just like this like Mindy Kaling character that keeps coming up that just like, they're just so enthusiastic about like, yeah, like I'm a Barbie doll, like deal with it. Yeah, the romance in this was killer. Like it just made me so wound. Like, I don't know how Meg Cabot does it in almost every book except like the few that must not be named, but like, honestly, prettiest cover would definitely be better together, but because I already showed that, I'm gonna go with Ace of Spades. I'm on page 105, not to brag. I really wanted to get the paperback of this because I'm a paperback queen now. I don't know if I updated y'all. I wanted to read it, and I was like, you know what? If I have the urge to read something, like I can't wait, because that urge does not come very often in my old age of 21. I mean, look at this. It's like a playing card. Hello? All right, a book I need to read by the end of the year. Okay, I have Six of Crows, I swear to God. So I've been saying since like 2012 or whenever the hell it came out that I'm gonna read Six of Crows. Still haven't. Okay, so I think that was like 15 or 20 minutes or whatever. I look kind of cute. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. I'm really bad at editing videos, so yeah. I can't say I'm gonna be on here a lot because I haven't been. But I'll be on here when I feel like it, which I think is fair because nobody is paying me to do this, and it is a lot of work. Thank you for watching. I love you so much. Bye.